How do you stand out in a genre where a majority of the anime are simply based off overused cliches and typical character tropes? How do you dominate such a genre? Well, I may not know how, but what I do know is that Haikyuu is the answer to that. Ever since it first came out back in the year 2014, it has dominated the sports genre. There have been many competitors, but none have ever been able to overthrow the anime that is Haikyuu. It is indeed the best teen sports anime. Now guys, before we talk more about this anime, I just want you guys to go ahead and give this video a like and also subscribe to the channel if you're new here. It helps the channel grow, and I always appreciate that. With that said, let's talk about Haikyuu and why you should watch it.
長身の選手より高さで踊るなら1センチを1ミリを1秒早くてっぺんそうすれば今この瞬間だけここが一番高い場所
Now I know that a majority of you must have already watched this anime. In that case, I want you to think of this video as my take on it. Well then, shall we begin? What exactly is a good sports anime? Is it an anime that makes you feel the sport, even if you've never played that sport before? Or is it an anime that makes you feel the excitement, nervousness, and passion of the players involved? Now, this may sound a bit exaggerated, but to be honest, for me, a good sports anime is an anime that makes you not only feel the sport, but it also makes you feel alive. And only a few sports anime can manage to pull that off. Haikyuu is one such anime that was able to grow out of the usual cliches and character tropes, and in turn become an almost perfect sports anime. It is something that you can rewatch once, twice, or even 3 times, or maybe countless times if you still enjoy it. But why Haikyuu? What makes Haikyuu better than the other sports anime out there? Well, you see, most sports anime all follow the same core principles when it comes to the plot. There is an underdog high school who somehow manages to cause some major upsets and make their way to the top. So the stage where most sports anime compete is the execution of that plot. In this sense, the plot of Haikyuu is very straightforward. There's an underdog school that just doesn't seem to give up on the dream of going to nationals one day. No matter how far-fetched it may seem, these guys always remain fixed up on going to nationals, even though their team has literally gotten the nickname Wingless Crows. They still have no intention of letting up. It is not a very unique setting, but is perfect for this anime. Now, the sport of this anime is volleyball. It's just volleyball. It's freaking volleyball. How thrilling can it be? This anime has repeatedly made a point to turn people who used to think volleyball as just another sport to play at the beach into hardcore volleyball fans. It was able to do that because the execution of this anime is, and always been, genuinely brilliant. Okay, so let's talk about the real stuff. The prominent reason why Haikyuu became such a big deal. It's no secret that the success of any type of anime hugely depends on its characters. And it is just as much as true in the case of sports anime as it is in any other kind of anime. The main character, aka the protagonist of this anime, is an orange guy with a very apparent short build. His love for this game was fueled out of a single moment. Back when he was in middle school, he stopped to look at a TV and saw a little guy like himself, dominating the court even though he was up against such tall players. This was the introduction of the main character, yet the story hardly ever revolves around the main character. It's like he is just a single piece of one massive puzzle, and he is definitely not the only one who's taking the series forward. Another common character trope that we keep seeing is when one of the main characters is some kind of mutant prodigy at that specific sport. But what most sports anime don't properly portray is the setbacks of having such a high level of skill set. You don't know when the other players will stop keeping up with your high level plays, or worse, they could even get tired of you altogether. Imagine being able to deliver the ball exactly where it's meant to be. This is the level at which Tobio Kageyama plays. It isn't just an ego problem, it's a consciousness problem. A genius just sees things differently. Well, this anime takes that concept and manages to convey a strong message on self-indulgence, all the while showing us a subtle yet deep character growth that is hard to find, even in other types of anime. It shows how one can take natural talent to a whole new level. Of course, this is not all. There are characters who love the game to the point that they are deaf to all that happens outside the game. There are characters that become a solid foundation for the entire team to grow and improve. There are characters who always manage to find the right words and say them in the right moment. There are players who get scared of putting themselves out there, yet they grow out of their fear through deliberate practice. There are smart guys who tend to overanalyze things. There are dumb guys who just follow their instincts. There are shrewd guys who hold the team together, or even mutant prodigies who raise the overall standard of the game just by their presence. But when it comes to volleyball, they just really love the sport. Haikyu dominates when it comes to creating deep, emotionally captivating characters. Even if it's just a side character from another team, a minor character whom the audience isn't even interested in, the anime will still try to make us understand that side character, even if it's just a little bit. It shows us the connection between characters on the same team, as well as the connection with players of different teams. Rather than the usual plain out rivalry, it's a combination of admiration, jealousy, friendship, and rivalry. The anime still covers the most cliched concepts, but it covers them brilliantly, because it is brilliant. This is the kind of anime in which even the characters of opponents' teams can make you tear up. Even their defeat can make you sad. You can often find yourself having trouble picking which one to support. You just start feeling an emotional connection with most of the characters, regardless of the team they are from. This may seem like a simple thing to us viewers, but just imagine how difficult it is to make the audience feel an emotional connection with almost all of the characters there are in the series. Even the ones that only appear every once in a while. To let no character become the victim of fans' hate, to let everyone have their moment. If you try to overanalyze it with a pencil and a notebook, you might find flaws here and there, in the plot or maybe even the characters. But that's not what we as the anime community are all about. Our job isn't just to criticize, it is also to appreciate. And Haikyu deserves all the appreciation it is getting. The manga may have just ended, but the anime is still blooming, and the animation may have flaws in the latest seasons, but it still feels just like how Haikyu always did. We love this anime not because it has badass animation and an art style that stands out. We love this anime because it is simply Haikyu. I won't talk more about the animation and the brilliant soundtracks because everyone is already talking about them. The reason why I created this video is to show my appreciation to one of the best anime out there. Haikyu is an anime that can make you feel the emotions of the characters and even understand them as they are presented. It doesn't sell a concept, it shows us, and we buy it every time. It highlights the realism and adds a distinct dose of action to it. It makes the characters make their presence known, sometimes even making them feel larger than life. It doesn't shy away from exploring the characters and showcasing their growth, as well as the reason for it. It can sometimes get predictable, but that's also its charm. Not everything has to be unpredictable. At its core, it is just an anime about volleyball, yet it is a roller coaster of profound epicness. There's always a subtle difference between good and great characters, and Haikyu never ignores the difference and makes full use of it. If I were to describe this anime in a single big sentence, I'd say Haikyu is an anime that highlights the love of sports through its inspiring characters, which in turn inspires us to make positive changes in our own lives ourselves. Even if it may not last very long, it does make a difference. Now I know you guys have a lot to say about Haikyu or maybe your very own personal favorite sports anime. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this. So make sure you comment down below what you think. Also, don't forget to like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and I always appreciate that. Well then, as always, it's the Bearded saying, thanks for watching, I will see you guys in the next one.